What's up, Eagles Nation? What's going on, NFL world? How you doing, division rivals? This is Steven Hyder with Gate City Sports Channel. Hey guys, listen. I just want to take a second of your time here before we get into this, the meat and potatoes of this video, if you will, to address some stuff. Like, listen, there were some people that were mentioning me with the Joey Shakes video. I can promise you, look, I have nothing against Joey Shakes. I don't talk to Joey Shakes, guys. I don't know him like that. We're not cool like that. Like, nothing against them, and I'm always open to working with people, but I don't personally know Joey Shakes like that, guys. I can tell you with 100% fact, I'm not the mole. I'm not the rat. I had nothing to do with that, guys. Like, that's not me. That's so off of my brand and what I do. That's not what I'm about, guys. Some of you guys might highly mistake me, but I promise you, I'm not about trying to put other people down. That's not what I do, man, because that stuff has a way of, like, coming back on you. Like, it's got a way, things kind of circle back to you if you bring that kind of energy and put it into the world, guys. Some of you guys may mistake what I say or what my intentions are with things, but I can tell you straightforward, I'm not that type of dude, man. That's not who I am. It's not what I do. Like, sorry to disappoint if you guys wanted that drama, but it's not me, man. I'm not the guy. Today's topic. Listen, I want to talk about dead money in the Philadelphia Eagles because, boy, we got a problem on our hand. If you haven't heard, Philadelphia Eagles currently for the 2021 season ranked number 1 in dead money charges. We are up above $40 million, and that is the league's leading dead money kind of like situation here. I can tell you right from the jump, guys, it's going to get worse because there's dead money on a lot of the contracts that we're about to release, guys. Like, we're not done. Like, I'm telling you, the next 2 weeks, going to be a lot of content, guys. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on because a lot of guys are going to be gone. There's going to be some change on this offense, guys. I reassure you that massive changes are coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. So, just to get into some of the stuff that I'm talking about when I say that there's going to be massive changes coming to the Eagles, keep in mind, you got guys like Malik Jackson. We know he's going to get cut. Alshon Jeffrey, we know he's going to get cut, guys. They did a lot to rework their contracts in that right before the Washington game, so it would save us a ton of money. But the bottom line is even though we converted some of their money off of that base salary to give us some cap savings, when we ultimately, and I do think that those are the 2 players we will June 1st designate, when we ultimately June 1st designate them, there's going to be a cap hit for that, guys. Like, there's no doubt about that we're taking some dead money on those. So the dead money is going to grow. We're still get cap savings, but you still have dead money on their contracts that you can't use. So you don't get the full value of the money you're saving. That's really what dead money kind of means in the context of your cap. Now, past that, guys, Zach Ertz. We trade Zach Ertz. There's still dead money, guys. You're still paying dead money. It doesn't mean that you're not getting that $4.7 million savings. You are. But if there wasn't dead money on his contract, then you would get the full $12 million savings that you would get from letting that contract go. But there's dead money. You got to pay that. I mean, like, as you keep going down the line, guys, the only 2 players I can tell you for a fact where you don't have to worry about this is going to be Marquis Goodwin, because there's no dead money on his contract, and Derek Barnett. There's no guaranteed money. There's no dead money on his contract. So with no guaranteed money, you have nothing to sweat. But, hey, it's coming, guys. Get ready, because that number is going to grow. I will tell you that it's going to go northwards of $50 million. Just be ready for that, guys, because as it stands, the Eagles are number 1. The Rams are number 2. They got like 30-some million. Number 3 is the Panthers. Number 4 is the Lions. Number 5 is the Jets. That's how the dead money currently stands for the 2021 season, and it's only getting worse. If you want to know some of the particulars, guys, there are 4 guys right now that count against the cap for us when it comes to dead money. Carson Wentz, $33.8 million. Deshaun Jackson, $5.8 million. Sharif Miller, $244,000. And Prince Tega, $112,000. So you take those 4 guys, you add them up, and that gives you your $40 million currently. Further context, further clues, further information, guys, if you want that, Carson Wentz. This is how the dead money is structured in his contract. He has a $9,820,608 signing bonus that's due to him. Mind you, signing bonuses are given to the player up front, and then teams can prorate the money, right? They can take it and then spread it out over years. So, on one hand, could you recoup some of the signing bonus? Potentially. You could. You could force Carson to say, hey, man, like, we paid you $16 million for a contract that you asked to get out of. We wanted you here. You asked to get out of it. Well, you're going to have to cut us a check for some of this money back, which then could be applied back towards the cap. That would be a PR nightmare. I'm going to be honest with you. That would be really difficult to ask a player to do. That would be a PR nightmare. The other side of that 33 million, so that's a 9.8 of it accounted for, guys. There's 24 million that's in option bonuses. Option bonuses are generally speaking like guaranteed money they add to the back end of a contract. It's kind of similar to a signing bonus, but it's a different concept at the same time. I don't know exactly where the 24 million is in terms of the options. I don't know what was optioned for the 24 million. I have to really look that up right now. I don't have that offhand, guys, but I do know it's 24 million. So unless they can finagle and work that stuff, guys, we're going to eat this $33 million, which is disappointing. I said in yesterday's video that I would be very disappointed and very angry with the organization if this happens. It looks like it's going to happen, guys. It definitely looks like that's where we're heading, and that's really disappointing. I'm not going to lie. Let's talk about performance base. Should we be concerned about this stuff? A lot of news recently that said the team that won the Super Bowl this year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ranked 32nd in the league in dead money last year, right? They had the least amount of dead money out of all 32 NFL teams. They only had $7.8 million on the books for dead money. They were also one of the oldest. They were the oldest roster. So the least amount of dead money and the oldest roster at the same time. They were 27.13 years. I will tell you guys, be careful. You can manipulate numbers, and one of the ways that number is being manipulated is like Tom Brady's like 40-something, guys. Like, of course, that skews the average here. So the roster may be a lot younger than what people think. You got a 40-some-year-old quarterback, guys. That's taking a toll here on that average. But when you really pay attention, guys, and you really look into this stuff, right? Who were the top 10 teams in dead money last year? Who had the highest amount? Number 1 was the Carolina Panthers with $54 million. Number 2 was the New York Jets with $53.5 million. The Jags were next at like 49.8. The Dolphins, 38.99, like basically 39 million, guys. The Rams followed that at 5 with 38.4 million. The Vikings were after that with 36.9 million, guys. Tennessee, 31.7. Washington, 31.2. New England, number 9 at 31.129. And then Atlanta, $30 million was the 10th team. Mixed variance here, right? Let's be honest. A lot of those guys are picking very high in this draft. But there's a mixed rate of success here, right? I think the Dolphins had a fairly successful season, even though they had a lot of dead money. I think the Rams had a fairly successful season, given the dead money. I think the Titans definitely had a fairly successful season, given the dead money. And you can say that the Minnesota Vikings, maybe they weren't nothing to write home about, but they found some solutions, they found some answers in their offense. And, at the end of the day, that $36.9 million was probably worth it for them for what they gained from it. The other way of looking at this stuff, guys, is looking at the average age. This is a pretty good one to kind of show you the craziness of this. The Eagles ranked 15th in 2020 when it came to dead money, guys. We had 23.6 on the books, rounded up to 24 million, guys, make it easy. All right, that ranked 15th in the league. Our average age, believe it or not, when you really averaged it out, so if it's below 0.5, you move it down. If it's above 0.5, you move it up. If it's below 0.5, you move it down. So we ranked out at 26. Now, we all know that that's a little misleading because you got like Jason Peters is on this roster. You got, Brandon Graham on this roster. Fletcher Cox is now over 30. We got a lot of guys over 30 now, right? Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, like that's, obviously we have some young guys on the roster, but yeah, if you dig beneath the surface, you can see that there still needs to be some youth added to this roster. With that said, guys, I think we're just going to have to get comfortable with the fact that we're going to be going through some changes here. Financially, the Eagles are going through changes. I know people are battling over calling this a rebuild. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. To me, I call this a rebuild. This is a rebuild to me. Look at what's going to happen, guys. We're going to lose a good 15% of this roster that at one point in time played significant portions and snaps for this team, right? A lot of members that might have, the remaining members of that Super Bowl team, a lot of those guys are gone, right? I know you can say, well, Carson didn't really play, but yeah, he was on the roster, guys, and he won 11 games for us, so he pretty much set us up for home field advantage. Carson's gone. He's going to be gone, right? I mean, you look at, just kind of filter it down, guys, like who could potentially be gone from this season, right? I mean, we're talking about guys that potentially are coming up on a short amount of time here. Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, Zach Ertz, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett. There's a lot of those guys. I mean, to me, this is a rebuild. This is clearly a rebuild. Like, changes are happening. Changes are coming. We're basically flipping over this roster, in my opinion. I want to know, where do you guys think this is going to extend to? Give me a couple of players, guys. Give me at least one player down below in the comments. Be like, yo, Gate, honestly, I think this person, I hate this, but they're probably going to be in trouble, man. There's a likelihood that we part ways, whether through trade, whether through cut. Like, whether it's at the 53-man roster cutback. Maybe it's going to be at the trade deadline. Like, we're probably going to move a lot of guys. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I mean, this is a crazy, crazy offseason, man. This is a lot of changes. Let's just leave it at that. A lot of changes. Don't forget, guys, before I sign off, if you want to support the channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee, guys. The link's down below. I greatly appreciate it. Or you can like, comment, and subscribe if you're not subscribed, guys. And lastly, you know what? Just watching the videos and interacting with me, hey, man, audience engagement does a lot, guys. I really appreciate y'all for that. And, yeah, see you on the next video, guys. Hey, we're going to be talking some running backs and some quarterback stats coming up this week, guys. So that's coming. So get ready for that.